Disney's family-friendly superhero projects have always carried a lighter, more accessible tone compared to the darker visions presented in films like Zack Snyder's Watchmen. However, fans have recently pointed out that one particular secret scene from a Disney PG-rated superhero movie unexpectedly captured the same kind of weighty, graphic novel atmosphere that defined Snyder's adaptation. The comparison has sparked conversation about how even the most family-oriented films can briefly step into territory that feels far more mature and layered than audiences expect. The scene in question doesn't rely on heavy violence or explicit content, but instead channels the visual language and narrative depth that Snyder brought to Watchmen. In that film, heroes were portrayed not as flawless figures of justice, but as complex, morally ambiguous individuals. The Disney moment in question, tucked within an otherwise lighthearted superhero adventure, echoes that sentiment by presenting a scene that feels far more somber than the rest of the story. Its use of lighting, pacing, and moral ambiguity stood out, offering a moment that suggested the darker consequences of being superhuman in a world not always ready to accept it. Fans have debated why the sequence resonates so strongly, and many point to how it contrasts with the film surrounding it. Disney's superhero outings typically prioritize optimism, humor, and broad accessibility, making them safe for younger audiences. By contrast, Watchmen dealt with corruption, trauma, and the gray areas of morality. This secret Disney scene, though brief, borrows just enough from Snyder's visual and tonal approach to leave a powerful impression. It reminds audiences that even in a PG framework, the ideas behind superhero storytelling can be weighty and thought-provoking. The comparisons also highlight how superhero cinema has evolved over the past 2 decades. Snyder's Watchmen, released in 2009, stood out for challenging traditional notions of costumed heroes, emphasizing their flaws and the political consequences of their existence. Disney, on the other hand, has built an empire on more universally appealing hero narratives. Yet moments like this prove that the creative teams behind these films are not afraid to experiment, injecting flashes of grit and seriousness into their stories. It shows how the superhero genre can borrow from multiple traditions, blending child-friendly storytelling with more mature influences. Industry observers have noted that the tonal shift of the scene may have been intentional, serving as a subtle nod to older fans who grew up on darker superhero comics. These viewers are now bringing their children to see Disney movies, and including a moment that carries the same weight as Watchmen could serve as a bridge between generations. It reflects a growing awareness that superhero audiences are diverse, with some wanting lighthearted escapism and others seeking more layered, challenging themes. Reaction online has been strong, with fans revisiting the film to examine the sequence in detail. Many shared side-by-side comparisons of shots from the Disney movie and Snyder's Watchmen, noting similar use of shadows, color grading, and dramatic framing. Others argued that while the Disney film never fully crosses into R-rated territory, the scene shows how versatile the genre can be. It sparked new appreciation for the creative risks involved, with some calling it the highlight of the entire movie. Ultimately, the discovery of this secret scene reinforces how superhero films, no matter their rating or target audience, are capable of surprising depth. By briefly adopting a style reminiscent of Zack Snyder's Watchmen, Disney's PG superhero project gave viewers a glimpse of a darker, more complicated world without losing its family-friendly identity. It demonstrated that even within the boundaries of a PG rating, filmmakers can capture the same sense of gravitas that defines more adult-oriented takes on the genre. For fans, that moment was proof that the superhero landscape is wide enough to hold both optimism and darkness, sometimes even in the same film.